I will be using Dungeon Crawl Classics to try and play out an adventure inspired by Xcrawl. Now, Xcrawl has been around for a while. It was written by Brendan LaSalle, and it went along with 3.5 edition D&D. There was also a Pathfinder version, and upcoming there will be an Xcrawl Classics version using the system here. The beta rules are available online. I am only using from them the gnome class because it's got gnomes in it, and obviously, hey, I want a gnome. So that's the only bit of the beta rules that I'll be using. The rest will be coming from here. I've created 3 characters: a wizard, a dwarf, and a gnome. That is Calamari, Conundrum, and Chaotica. Not their real names, of course. That will be Colin, Christine, and Claire. But these are their showbiz names because Xcrawl is a pay-per-view sport with real danger. So if you imagine something like cross between professional wrestling, American Gladiators, It's a Knockout, that kind of thing. The dungeons are specially built for these tournaments, these games, and superstar teams take on the dungeons and try to win through those dungeons, having been created by a dungeon judge who might well be a celebrity in their own right. And they are broadcast across the American Empire, as it is in the world of Xcrawl. But in this world here, the one that I'm using, we are still back in medieval times, but these games are broadcast via magical means to a cinema screen that's been set up in a very Heath Robinson fashion in every town in the land, so that the magic will project the images of what's going on to all the people in the market squares all over the kingdom, so they can see and cheer along. So I've just prepared a few monsters out of the Dungeon Crawl Classics book: Skeleton, Zombie, and Gnoll. If we come across anything where there might be a combat, then I'm going to use some of those just to make life easier, and I'll grab any other monsters if we need them. Now I'm going to use my story cubes to try and create the puzzles and challenges within each chamber of this specially created dungeon for the Tournament of Heroes, of which our team Calamity Cadre are taking up the gauntlet, as it were, and going to try and win through and not get killed. Now, this dungeon has been created by the wizard Malakez, and he addresses the crowd and those across the kingdom who are watching on their various canvas screens that have been stretched across their marketplaces, and he announces the team and the 3 participants here, and wishes them well as they take on his fiendish challenges. Now, as our heroes descend the stairs into the first chamber, we roll the dice, the original set of story cubes, and we'll see what they come up with. So, bear with me. We cannot enter this tower until we discover how, the secret of how, and there is a time limit because every round a skeleton will appear and start attacking us. And the clue we have is what kind of plant grows at night. Now I'm thinking mushrooms or truffles. So truffles would suggest to me that under the ground here is some kind of mushroom, fungus, truffle thing. And when we discover it, it will magically grow in size and enable us to climb over the tower. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking anyway. So first of all, our first skeleton appears, and we have to think about digging around here. I mean, this isn't necessarily stone, I'm just using this grid, but it could be earthy bits around here. So that's what we've got to do. We've got to spring a skeleton, the first one that's going to appear, and then start looking for our fungus. Skeleton has 2 hit points. So I shall use my GW dice to mark that. I'll just see how far away we are from the skeleton. We are 50, 60, 70, 80 feet. Let's call each one of these. I don't. Yeah, let's call each one of these in this chamber 10 feet. So 10, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. We are here. So we're going for a sort of bigger scale. So Calamari is at the top of the initiative, and he is going to cast Magic Shield before he starts wading into these monsters. There might be more of them very soon. So he's going to use his action to do that. He adds his caster level, which is 1, and his intelligence modifier, which is 0. Oh gosh. Yes, could be a disaster. Never mind. +1. 14. The caster repairs a minor defect in a simple object of non-magical, non-living nature. The repair lasts for 1 week. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong spell. 14. The caster conjures a shield that provides +4 bonus to armor class for 2d6 rounds. That is great. So 2d6. 11 rounds, +4 armor class. Awesome. Now it is the skeleton's turn, and they have a move of 30. So on this scale, 10, 20, 30, it launches towards our heroes. Now it is Conundrum, the dwarf. What's she going to do? She's not got a great deal of movement, but she has her crossbow, which isn't going to do a great deal to a skeleton, so she really needs to get going with her warhammer. So she can, she will she'll move. Yeah, she'll move as much as she can, 20 feet. Okay, and now it is Chaotica. She will go over here. She's going to try and sneak around if she can, let Conundrum take the damage, and our wizard will launch in as well later on. So we're at the top of the next round. Another skeleton appears by the tower there, and it is Calamari's turn, and he is going to start moving 20, 30 towards the, maybe slightly more over here, towards the tower. Now he's got his magical shield. Yeah. Okay. Now the skeleton moves 1 to 3. I'll go for Conundrum. 4 to 6. It'll be Calamari. He attacks Conundrum. I'll just roll the hit points for the other one. Wow, he's on a 6. So the skeleton attacks with a +0, and that misses Conundrum's armor class with its spear. The other skeleton starts moving towards us, just generally forward, and now it is Conundrum's turn. She will attack the skeleton with her warhammer. She rolls her +3 d3. She rolls a d die, basically. She rolls these together and adds her strength of +1. 9, 10, 11. That hits the skeleton. She does d10 damage, adding 2 and another 1 for her strength. So 5, 6, 7, 8 damage to this skeleton. It is smashed to pieces. Well, that's a good start. Chaotica is going to just keep moving around with Calamari there, and we'll see where we go at the top of the next round as another skeleton appears. Top of the round, and Calamari is going to continue to make his way just around towards the tower to try and start digging. And the skeleton, does it go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, heading towards Conundrum, and this other one, which has 4 hit points, 1 to 3. That one is heading over here, which makes life awkward for Calamari. Now, our dwarf once again will launch into this one. Okay, +1, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is not going to do it. We need a 9. Can we burn some luck? Let's burn a couple of luck points to make that up to a 9. Why not? So, take our D die there. I ought to specify a D, shouldn't I? But 9, 10, 11. Yeah, basically smashing it to pieces is the deed. So, Chaotica continues to come around here. And all at once, another skeleton appears. Top of the round. 6 hit points. Okay. I think the wizard is just going to launch him with his staff, because he's not really got many spells that... I chose the spells randomly, and yeah, he's not got a lot that's going to do much to a skeleton. So he will attack with his staff. That's a 10, that is enough. And he rolls a d6. Doing 1 point of damage. That's not so great. Okay, now it's the skeleton's turn. This one is clearly going to attack our wizard. He fails. And this character, will he go 1, 2, 3, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He heads towards Conundrum. So it's Conundrum's turn. She will launch into this guy. Her deed will just be to smash him to pieces. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 with her strength. So that's 3 on the deed. Whatever deed she would have done, basically smash him to pieces. Added to 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes. That skeleton is destroyed. It is no match for our Warhammer. And now it is our gnome is going to come in behind the wizard and start scrabbling around in the earth at the foot of the tower. So while she starts doing that, we'll go to the top of the next round. Another skeleton appears with 3 hit points. There we go. And Calamari rather, will attack this skeleton with his staff again to try and clear the way for our gnome. 6. Oh no, that's a terrible miss. Okay, this skeleton retaliates and misses. And this skeleton, which way are they going to go? 1 to 3. Ooh. 2. It is heading towards Calamari. Right. Conundrum attacks, launching in from the side. Wow, 16, 17, 18, +1, 19 from her strength. Yep, adding 3, and then again, and a +1 to the damage. 10, 11, 12, 13, smash. They keep coming, but we keep knocking them down. And now it is Chaotica. She is going to start hunting around. She has a few thief skills. She's a bit thiefy. So she can hide in shadows, she can pickpocket, she can sneak silently. But now she's going to do an intelligence check, I think. And I'm going to give her a 10 to try and find the mushroom. Okay. She doesn't get a plus anything. She just has to roll and gets a 10. She finds the mushroom. So, in the next round, that mushroom is going to grow and enable our crew to try and climb over the tower. So at the top of the next round, another skeleton appears, hopefully the last one, with a hit points of 6. And Calamari is standing where the mushroom is going to grow, this giant magic mushroom, so to speak. And so he is going to try and knock the skeleton off. And he hits and rolls a d6. Oops. For a 5. Smash. So we've destroyed all the skeletons in this part here. 1 to 3, 4 to 6. Okay, he comes in and tries to attack Calamari. So, as a 16, he's going to hit. He has a spear, so that's a d8. We could be in a lot of trouble. That's 2 hits. No, actually. What on earth did I roll? Yes, even with our extra armor class because of our spell, which will probably run out any moment, we still get hit and lose 2 hit points. Not so good. And now it is time for our dwarf to storm in. Conundrum will attack. 3, 4, 6, 7. Oh, that's not enough. So they miss. However, our gnome's going to have a quick attack actually. So rolling 12. That's enough to hit. With a d6 with her short sword, or whatever it is. Yeah, short sword. 6. 5. She gets a -1 because of her weak strength. But, yeah, it's down to 1 hit point as the giant mushroom arises. This could get weird. Okay, basically, a giant mushroom appears and starts to grow, a magical mushroom, rising everybody to the top of the tower so they can climb over the top. So that's what we're doing. We are level with the top of the tower now. A new skeleton appears, but they cannot get to us because they're at the bottom. This skeleton is still with us, so Conundrum is going to have another attack. 19, that's good. And smash with his staff. So we reach the top of the tower, we hop over the top, and we are into the next chamber. Now what on earth could be going on in this chamber? Let's have a look at that. Oh, we've got the castle again. Well, we'll see. So, going by this, I think that when we get to the top of this tower, the other side of it, we see this chasm before us and these 2 bees droning slowly about in a sort of figure of 8 kind of pattern. And what we have on the top of the tower here are 3 backpacks which open out into sort of gliding things which will enable us to paraglide, if you like, across the chasm safely from the tower, avoiding the bees. So we're going to make a DC 10 reflex save each of us to try and get across safely. So Calamari is going to go first. He gets a +1 to his reflex. That is fine, thank goodness, because his health is a little low at the moment. Conundrum, she gets a +2 to her reflex save. Oh yes, she manages to paraglide across, avoiding the bees. And Chaotica gets a +1 as well. No, she gets +2 actually. Just enough. So we managed to avoid the bees and land safely on the other side, where I think there will be some health potions just in case, to try and get us up to health, I think, because, you know, our wizard is not very well. So I'm going to say they restore D4 health. So we're going to take one of those, and I'm confused. Yeah, that's the one. That's your D4 for Dungeon Crawl Classics. I always get confused by that one. So we are back up to full with Calamari, and the others have a health potion each. And progressing further through this fiendish dungeon, what do we find next? Ooh, that's different. So there's a sleeping creature. I don't have a giant turtle, so I'm using an Otyugh. And there is a balance here with a rock on one side of it, which we can use to knock down this next tower. So we have to draw the Otyugh towards us in order for it to tread on this and launch the rock at the tower. Now, can we draw it with something that might, a smell that might make it interested, perhaps, or something like that, because it's fast asleep. I'll have a look at our spells. Now we have, I think I'll probably extend the range to 5 feet in this room, because we've a little bit more freedom here. I think Calamari is going to cast Choking Cloud, because although a lot of the effects for that spell follow the character around, the creature that it's been cast on, the Otyugh's not going to know that, so I think it's going to make it wake up and head away from where it is and hopefully tread on that. So launching the rock at the next tower. So we will add our caster level and intelligence. Well, we'll add our caster level anyway. We have +1 to make this spell. Let's see what happens. Wow, 21. A single acidic poisonous cloud appears within a radius of 20 feet, centered on a target of the caster's choosing. For 2d4 + 4 rounds, targets in the cloud suffer a -2 penalty to all rolls. Take 2 points of damage each round and must make a fortitude save when first exposed or be poisoned. The caster can direct the cloud by concentrating. It moves up to 50 feet per round at his command. So with this, we can actually control where the cloud is. So we can have the cloud come in here. We are within 50 feet. We can, do that kind of stuff. We can move the cloud so that it wakes the Otyugh up, and it can see where the cloud isn't, so it heads towards the fresh air, and we make the cloud move to follow it, to try and hem it in like a sheepdog, and make it head towards the seesaw there, stepping on it and launching the rock, which is designed to hit the castle. So that was a pretty good spell, rolling 21. We will then, dispel the spell, because we've achieved what we wanted to do. We didn't really want to hurt the Otyugh, because it's just, doing its job, fast asleep. And then we will head to this tower, which has now fallen down, and make our way to the final challenge. And what might that be? Ooh. Hey, it's the fire one. or it could be a spooky monster. Right, let's have a look at these. So I like the look of these. I'm going to use the bridge from the Big Book of Battle Mats and the fire. See, our fiery wizard character, who is probably Malakez, is going to shoot a firebolt at a random space on this bridge. There are 14 spaces, so I'm going to roll a d14 at the start of each round, and it will destroy one of the squares, and the gnolls are going to go in and attack as well to make life more difficult. So let's see what happens with that. What's the gnolls move like? They move 30, so. And I've rolled initiative. Calamari goes first. So yeah, he's going to cast a spell, I think. They are all within range of sleep. So he is going to cast that, and they have to save with their will against the DC of the spell check. So he rolls his spell check and adds a 1. See what happens. That's 12. One target within range must make its will save or fall asleep for d6 turns. So we will take on this gnoll here just to... we could go for the wizard, but I think she will be more powerful against it. So we're just going to take out one of the fighters. So they don't get a plus to their will save, so they've got to make a 12. Well, they've got to beat it, really, haven't they? Got to get a 13 or more, basically. They don't get a plus. And they are out of it for d6 5 rounds. You are asleep for 5 rounds. And we just have the other 2 gnolls to deal with right now. That was on a 2. So that is Calamari's action. And next up are the gnolls. I ought to roll initiative for the wizard. No. She will cast a spell at the beginning of each round from now on. And yeah. Now we'll roll initiative to make life easier. So 5. I'll give her, she's probably got a +1. So yeah. She will go after the gnolls. So they start moving on. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Rushing to the attack. And now we have the wizard. What's she going to do? She casts a spell. This is not a normal spell. This is a very weird spell, because it's just going to strike a random space on this board, on the bridge. So 5. That is hit by a firebolt and destroyed. Now we have Chaotica. She's just going to shoot one of the gnolls. She gets a +1. And that's not going to do anything. So the crossbow bolt just whistles by. And Conundrum, she's going to just launch in and attack. So she needs her D die, and she has a +1. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 total. She hits the gnoll and takes a 3, a +1, adding D10 for her warhammer. Where's the D10? I'll just roll this one. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That absolutely destroys this gnoll. She's devastating. And it is then Conundrum's been, we're back at the top of the order with our wizard, and he will try and cast sleep on this other gnoll as we move this down to 4. So adding +1 for his intelligence, or caster level, sorry. That's a 12. So it's the same again. They have to make their will save, and they do. They just do. So they that spell fails to take effect because they fight it off. Now the Null. He's probably going to attack the dwarf here because she just destroyed his friend. So he gets a +1 to hit. 12, 13. That is not enough to get through Conundrum's armor class, which is 14. So it is now time for Malakez to cast her next spell. 9. Oh my goodness, that's the one that Conundrum's on. That one is destroyed, and she takes a hit from a fireball. Oh gosh. I'm going to give it d6 damage. 1. That was lucky. So Conundrum is down to 13 hit points. She's still pretty healthy, to be fair. But I think she needs to do a reflex save, otherwise she'll fall off the bridge. So I'll give it a 10. Reflex is +2. Wow! Not only does... That's a crit. No, I'm going to say not only does she swing back on board, she's pretty devastating, so I won't give her a free hit. But yeah, she manages to jump back on the bridge after being hit by the fireball and that square being destroyed. So, Chaotica. Well, she is just going to head onto the bridge just to here and roll with her crossbow and miss. It is now Conundrum's turn, so she can actually attack. 20, 30. Oh wow, that's a crit. And a maximum on the deed die, although I'm not really doing deeds. She's basically going to try and knock him off the bridge into the water, basically out of the fight. That's her deed. I should have said that beforehand, but I didn't think of it. So she makes her deed, so she will do that. And we need to see how much damage she takes. So first of all, we'll roll the damage, and I think this crit may be unnecessary. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we've destroyed him, and we've made our deed, so we've knocked him off the bridge. But if we look at crit table 3 and roll the d10, which is our crit die, 6. Brutal strike to torso. Inflict +1d8 damage with this strike, and the foe suffers multiple broken ribs. So to add insult to injury and more injury, an extra 2 damage, he is killed and knocked off the bridge. I thought the Knolls would be tougher, to be honest, but that is Conundrum's action. So now we go back to the top with Calamari, and he's going to 15, 20, 25, 30. He's going to start making his way over. And I think the wizard will then make probably her final attack, which hits number 11. So our other characters, 5, 10, 15, 20, 5, 10, 15, 20. I think she can get a shot. No, she doesn't want to shoot the wizard. The wizard is non-com. So although she's casting spells on the bridge, she's not actually deliberately attacking, so they're not actually allowed to attack Malakez the wizard. So now we are back at the top. Yep, we're going to make it. we make it to the other side of the bridge. Perhaps there'll be one last attack which hits behind us. So we make it to the other side, and Malakez, the dungeon judge, congratulates us on accomplishing her short but sweet dungeon, and trying to use the story cubes to create some little puzzles, the kind of puzzles you might see in an Xcrawl type adventure, as well as all sorts of monsters. So yeah, we made it. Our exploits are beamed through magical means across the land to these pieces of canvas put up in market squares to have this projected on, so that the populace of the kingdom can watch as our heroes defeat the dungeon of Malakez. So thank you for watching. That was just a little flavour inspired by Xcrawl of Dungeon Crawl Classics, and yeah, that was that. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you soon.